419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Wixey Wealth Management. I'm Kevin Mullen.
Gretchen DeBacker.
Matt Killam.
It is a surprise guest edition. I'm surprised.
You are surprised.
I'm surprised it is a surprise guest edition, and it is my surprise guest.
I'm so worried about this.
You should be.
Okay.
You should be. It is inevitably, I try to stump you guys.
You also try to surprise yourself.
And I have done that very well with this one.
Okay.
So this is a person you
Marginally no.
enough
Correct.
to have their phone number probably, but that's it.
No, I did not have this person's phone number.
No.
I actually stopped into where they work.
Yeah. What time is this place open? And what is this location?
It's open during the day.
How long
Open
until they
during
ask you to leave?
When I left here and went straight there
To jail.
to jail.
Yeah.
That's right. And then that's where I met the sheriff, and I said, "You should come on the show."
That's right.
Yeah.
After I gave him blood and urine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even ask for it.
And it wasn't the
Offered
sheriff's
it up.
department. I dropped it off at Build-A-Bear.
You give way too much credit to Build-A-Bear.
Well, that's we're hoping for sponsorship from Build-A-Bear. Yeah.
There's still
I
a
Build-A-Bear
chance.
every night
Yeah.
with things I find around my house and yard.
Yeah.
Stuff them inside.
I'm gonna bring in a bear I've built every show.
That's a performance artist.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
You see
welcome.
my vision.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally.
That's right.
Now,
Well,
if they start talking to you, let me know.
Yeah.
Loaded for
Okay.
bears.
I'm loaded for Build-A-Bear.
Oh,
That's our new
man.
slogan.
Yikes.
I'm loaded at Build-A-Bear. That's a distinction.
That's different.
Yeah, the
That is
mall
different.
police.
That's actually
That's a
illegal.
distinction the mall police made.
Oh my
Ever seen the mall police?
I mean,
The mall, not
Like
the
Paul
actual
Dart?
police.
They
Yeah,
have segues now.
yeah. No, they don't. That's for it. Yeah.
That's it.
That's loaded for bear.
That's Paul Blott Mall Cop. Or
Just
whatever.
moments ago, Kevin said that same joke.
He did?
You're gonna really like this show if you ever
Yikes.
watch it.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us the hints about your guest that's a total stranger to you.
okay. So I think I've already alluded to it being a male.
Okay.
He is he's a sweet person.
All right. He's a baker.
But he's pretty needy.
Is this the guy from Wixey?
He's pretty needy.
Bread. Get it?
So
K-N-E-A-D-Y.
I didn't say
First of all,
that.
don't ever touch me again.
So he's needy. A well-known Toledo family.
It's Wixey. It's Wixey.
I'm
And
alarmed
if
that-
they have donuts, it will be the best day of my life.
I ate a pint of ice cream last night, right before I went to bed. So if this is Wixey, I am
You
going
need to get your blood sugars in
Yeah, well,
in
you're
sync.
certainly a doctor. So even that hand gesture makes me think you know a lot about science.
Yeah, this is what your blood levels are supposed to look like.
That's my interest in
it
your
is
segment.
someone who I introduced myself to, and they already knew about the show because
So
they
they're
had heard
insane
it on
also.
the radio. Yeah, that's
So
right.
it is the sheriff's department.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm also alarmed that needy is spelled like that.
Needy.
Or K-N, as in need bread.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and so, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about this individual, and
Okay.
I'm so excited to learn, and I will reveal who my secret guest is
Okay.
on the other side of the break.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Excited.
Let's do it.
I mean, we don't have much of a choice.
No, we don't.
That's right.
All right, when
Speak
we
for
come
yourself.
back, we'll introduce my surprise guest here on a Friday edition of the 419, powered by WGTE. Support for the 419 comes from Wixey Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at WixeyAdvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419, a mystery guest edition. Before we went to the break, I told you that my mystery guest was a sweet person. a well-known Toledo family, but kind of needy, which is good because he works at a bakery. It's Brian Wixey.
Thank you for having me,
Can
guys.
I look now?
Yeah,
You
please.
can look.
I'm smiling the whole time.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian, thank you
Welcome.
so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for thinking of us in this.
I
Yeah.
have lived in Toledo since I was in the 4th grade, and today is the day that I'm learning that Wixey Bakery is named after the last name of a human person.
It's true. It's true. My great-grandfather.
So tell us a little bit about the history of the family and their involvement with this shop.
You know, it's.
Wait, before you started with
please.
actual information, where did you think the name came from?
I just thought it was a whimsical name. I never
Okay.
thought of it. I
Shakespeare?
knew it was a family. Yeah, I thought it was very Shakespearean.
It's on the 13th night.
The family name is, you know, if I could say it, I would. Allegedly, it was an orphan's name. So my grandfather and his brother came to the country. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't know that my great-grandfather's brother came with him, but he came through.
Right, I don't want you to burden yourself with the accuracy on this show.
Seriously.
You can just say really anything.
Okay.
And no one is going to hold you to it. Gretchen's real name is Dave.
I love donuts.
So fire away, man. Yeah, don't hold back.
So yeah, in 1930, my grandfather started the business here in Toledo on Western Avenue, what is now the Spigot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, right?
How about
So put that in the 900, what is it, 9 questions?
Yes,
Or-
there you
Part
go.
of the-
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, got it.
So
Where did they immigrate from?
England,
Okay.
Scottish and English descent.
And if any place that is known for the epicenter of culinary arts, it's England.
Yeah, right.
So,
But they have good scones and baked goods.
okay.
Yeah.
all right.
where was, I mean, any idea why a bakery?
Well, again, allegedly,
sure?
allegedly, my great-grandfather worked in the court at the palace, so, or the castle or whatever
Sure.
you would call it or refer to it. And in that, I think, I mean, obviously, things don't get passed down as you hope, so you don't have the knowledge that you really think or can hold on to other than like, you know, something that does your DNA. So with that being said, they moved to America and just started the bakery in Toledo here after visiting Akron.
So, I mean, Wixey Bakery is an absolute staple in
100%.
Toledo. I think it interacts with, intersects with, everyone has a story of a major moment in their life that Wixey Bakery was a part of. You guys baked the cake for our wedding.
Oh, sweet, thank you.
And
All of my weddings.
I'm working on some myself.
Yes.
But I mean, growing up as a Wixey, right?
Yeah.
Gretchen may not have known that was your last name, but all of your friends obviously did. What was that like as a child of the Wixey dynasty?
Wow. When you're growing up, you're just trying to find your footing with your friends, within your
100%.
environment. Obviously, I think it spoke to a lot of people, but it's not often that I wouldn't find myself in the lunchroom or cafeteria as a young kid, a young student, and all of a sudden your principal's got his hand on your shoulder, and you're like, you know what I mean? Timidly looking up, he's like, "We've got your donuts in the office," and I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And realistically, all we wanted were like,
You're like, I made them before school.
seriously, I had to work.
Where'd you go to school?
Yeah. We grew up in Maumee.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
All
we
right.
were fortunate to have that community to live in and celebrate them even today. I think what we're talking about is community.
Tell us a little bit about the makeup of the business now. So did your father or mother work there? And when did you, just a little bit about how the involvement is and what level generation is working there now?
Right. So my great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father all worked at the bakery. I had just moved back from the Mid-Atlantic in like something. And we've all of us have worked at the bakery in some fashion, whether
Sure.
it was, folding towels after church on Sunday. It didn't matter. You were responsible.
Yeah, right.
I loved it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was home. But with that being said, both my sister and I came back right around the same time. She was a nurse and quite successful within her career, but at the same time, I think she longed for what it was that we all grew up with, and that sense of, family.
Yeah,
And it extends over the counter, which is the most valuable thing.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we had folks from the UT Family Business Center on the show talking about, running a family business and the challenges with that. Working with your sister. I mean, what was the dynamic like growing up, and now, sharing a business with her?
Certainly.
She's our next guest.
I know, right? I know. Surprise. The best. I mean, so for me, my relationship with my sister Denise, we have a brother that's between us, and
Who's the oldest?
Denise.
Okay.
Yeah, my grade. Well, we both are pretty great. Anyhow.
Yeah, sure.
With that being said, she was 8 years older than I am, or is 8 years older than I am, and with that said, she got married when I was in 8th grade. So my high school years and my, those fundamental years where you kind of develop yourself, she wasn't really accessible to me. So,
Sure.
so yeah, I mean, it's we have a distance between us in how we were brought up, and we have a distance between us within age. So with both of those factors, it really blends well to communication in the building.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And even
Yes.
more so outside, just because we have that extra relationship as friends.
Yeah.
Do either of your families or children work in the business now,
So
or your sisters?
my niece is fortunate to work with us when she can, and I would probably have to steal her from the county at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe the state. I don't even know really where that falls. But regardless,
Yeah, sure.
I anticipate it moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we'll see that fifth generation take over. And
Fifth generation. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I certainly think that it'd be easy to find, and none of which is possible without the community's help. So, I mean, if in an age when, it's convenience over choice.
Substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that works, but we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to put those families beyond our footprint today.
Right.
And that's so meaningful.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's everything.
It is.
I-
Sorry.
One of the things that I'm interested in general is the Wixey white cake and frosting.
Oh, yeah, right.
But now that you're here, I have the opportunity to talk to you more about it. It is the perfect cake,
Please.
and it is the perfect frosting as far as I'm concerned. So has that always been the white cake and frosting? How did you get to that? How did you land on that combination or that recipe? Because as you know, there's all different types of
Right.
cakes and buttercream and all the different stuff. But how
I've
did
never
you?
seen Gretchen more in love
I know.
than she is
Seriously,
right
I
now.
was like,
the most
I'm
I've ever
with you.
talked.
I'm with you.
How did you land on that combination and those recipes?
I think
She asked the same question to every guest we have, and this is the first time it's landed. The kids
Talk about the Wixey white cake.
Right, it makes
for the
sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids from the orphanage we had on last week were
They were-
they were befuddled.
We must have
I
over
like
there after.
cupcakes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, please, God, answer this insipid question.
I can, and to make sense of it,
Well, don't go too.
well,
you don't have to
fortunately,
make sense of it.
no, fortunately, with the 95, 96 years now, you could open something next door selling the same recipes. I'm not too protective about my recipes. You could do it, but you won't sell it. You know what I mean? And So it's a great product, and anybody can do it. Fortunately, we've had the support of our community to really move forward from that. So with that being said, it's obviously been tweaked over the years, and with that, we've been fortunate to land on a product that I think is consistent with what we've always done.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they live? I mean, like, how have you pulled yourself through the ages? I mean, baking and cooking is something that has had to happen based on our need to sustain life throughout time, but were they captured originally in a leather-bound book and now are laminated? Can you sort of pull us through? Technology seems inappropriate and certainly not as warm as the Wixey environment that you're articulating, but talk to me about, was it on someone's hand written as they came over on a boat?
Certainly it was stolen at some point
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
somebody's hand.
Yeah.
You know,
That doesn't offend us in the
no,
slightest.
right?
No.
No, you steal
That's
with your
just
eyes.
smart.
I mean,
Try and sneak over and steal it too.
seriously,
Yeah.
can I use the restroom?
Yeah, sure.
But
that's what the cups are for.
Yeah, right.
Is that so they can't leave?
With that, the recipes. So we're pretty much all paper.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like the staff is begging for a POS system. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just the small details that a modern world host that we just haven't caught up with.
Yeah.
So if you were to look at some of the recipes that, fortunately, some of which are typed, they're completely falling apart in your hand.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like the paper itself is browned in like 10 different tones.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I love it.
But that's not something we use every day. So, you know, obviously with a modern world, you got to look after hygiene in such a way that we kind of organize some things, but we still fall back on some of those old thoughts and how to prepare a recipe and what we should look for.
Do you have to consult the recipe still? Or
Me?
are they,
you know, it's interesting. Like we were talking bakers versus chefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't taste something as you do a cook or a wood or chef. So it becomes a little more scientific in the idea that you want that consistency, you desire that bake, and in order to do that, we try to stay consistent. Do I have to refer to them? I always will pull one out. I rarely will I just
go blind.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, there's a couple things obviously that we do that with, but it's not often.
Yeah.
We're talking to Brian Wixey from Wixey Bakery. What is your day-to-day now? I've seen you in there many times. Are you back there baking? Are you managing? Are you in the office? What's your role?
I'm not 100% sure, but that could be cake on the back of my knuckles. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, I would like to say I'm first one in, first one out, or last one out, and I'd say 60% of the time that holds true. So it's very owner operated, if you will.
Yeah,
you know what
sure.
I mean? I can't do it from an armchair, and I can't afford to pay and carry on the responsibilities of the staff in quiet times if I'm sitting at home with the idea that they need to work and handle my business for me. So we're very much a part of what it is, our daily operations.
What time does a day start for a baker?
Well, I mean, 4:30-ish.
Yeah.
It's now 5. I've got a phenomenal night crew that I can really count on, so I'm not putting out fires when I first get there.
Yeah, sure.
And now I get to have coffee for about an hour before going in, maybe an hour and 20. You know, a month of April's kind of crazy.
Yeah, with Easter,
you know, so.
So, Brian, when we have, you know, artists come on, musicians come on, you know, I love asking about kind of, you know, how the community receives their art is always different than how they necessarily put it out.
Right.
Certainly what you guys do is art. I'm curious if there's something that's on the menu, at the risk of having you talk negative about something on the menu. Is there something on the menu that you're like, I don't like it, but the customers love it?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's your answer.
You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, like I don't get it, and it's so there's a twist, and it's a glazed donut, and it's like cotton candy on your gums. I mean, it just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
But the twist offers too much surface area, and it creates kind of a texture that I'm just not a big fan of, and it's not a displeasing texture, if you will. It's just a texture that is consistent, like you know, at any rate, palatable it is, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So it seems like, again, a lifelong fan of Wixey, but in the past, I don't know, decade, that you have been expanding the offerings. You have now the cooler that has soups and chicken salad and things like that, more bread than I think maybe you originally had. Is this part of this generation's business plan for Wixey to expand into these areas?
Well, it's kind of like I touched on, is you steal with your eyes and you kind of keep an eye on what's popular. And one thing that we could always hang our hat on, which was great for our community, was Anderson's. And one of Anderson's bakery items and or deli items were some of their soups, some of their spinach dip. You know, things that I think the community would often think that they made or manufactured themselves. Fortunately, Anderson's just put out a good product, and they did the research to find it. And with that, we are lucky enough and have been lucky enough to use some of the products that they kind of coined. You know, I have no problem when a customer says, "Do you have any spinach dip today?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Right.
Or, "I didn't know you made this," and I'm like, "Well, do you know of Anderson's?"
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you know of this family? Do you know of this? And right off the cuff, I mean, I'm not trying to get over on anybody, and you know, if I'm not honest, then I don't get to project my best intention. Do you know if that makes sense?
It does.
But you've then become an outlet for these folks to still sell their product when the Andersons isn't there.
Completely.
I mean, what an amazing, to think about, again, the family name, the iconic family name of the Andersons and the role that played.
Sure.
It's got to feel good that Wixey is now able to
Carrying them
carry
around.
some of
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Well, I just got the chills. I mean, it's just nice to be a part of that. And
And also the air conditioning kicked on.
here, are you warm?
No, I'm wearing 9 layers of clothes.
Yes.
It's highly sweet. So I also, you are constantly to some degree evolving. Where do you hunt? Where do you check out competition? Where do you do your research? And is that still enjoyable? Do you like that experience? Can you go somewhere when someone's not asking you when there's cake served what you think? Mm-hmm. I mean, what is that?
Yeah,
What's that like being you?
I'll go to weddings, and I'm, obviously not participating in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's awesome for my, for everyone. In a modern world,
Yeah.
the staff is of age where I started, and I'm kind of the old seed. You know what I mean? That sprouted, and so with that potential, that generation has so many platforms that they're just gaga for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like Martha Stewart of my dad's generation, where she came out and she blew up, and all of a sudden girls are coming in with magazines. I rarely need to hold on to a photo. I mean,
Right.
where are we
They
at here?
comment pictures on their phone.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a well-informed community that is
Yeah.
coming in to look for a
Yes, sir.
specific item.
Yes. Well, and also, again, some of the pressures isn't certainly what I mean, but Brian, I wasn't kidding. We don't have a birthday in my family without a Wixey's cake.
Oh, that's kind.
We don't have a birthday within our friends group.
No, we don't. We have relatives
which is
that
only
come
2 people,
that-
but still, that's
I'm not
at
even a
least-
part of that group.
I guess not.
Oh no, we canceled it. Yeah. Don't tell me.
I
but
just traveled
I'm
with-
not kidding. We don't.
Yeah.
Please stop interrupting me. That's why she's not part of the friends group anymore. God,
I'm
bless
trying
her.
to decipher some things right now.
Yeah, no, I think you have. I think, you were quick to. But no, this is part of a staple of a tradition amongst our friends group. One of us goes and gets the Wixey's cake. I'm the one they send to do it, and we don't celebrate without you. So, not the pressure of that, but I mean, that has got to be fulfilling. And work is called work for a reason, and you're there probably 12 hours a day. But you've mentioned community 3 or 4 times already. Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you in the plug-in? Probably after the break.
Yeah, let me go. So let's take a
Yeah.
break when we come back. I do want to talk about community.
Please.
I actually witnessed this firsthand when I stopped in to invite you to be on the show. And so I want to ask some questions about what I saw, because I really have no idea what happened. But I'm going to let you explain it.
This is what panic looks like.
Perfect. All right. We're talking with Brian Wixey from Wixey Bakery. We'll continue the conversation when we come back on the other side of this break on the 419, powered by WGTE.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love CBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a T-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story. It's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419, powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour, a reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, a mystery guest edition. We're talking with my surprise guest today, Brian Wixey from Wixey Bakery. Brian, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We talked right before the break, we talked about community, and you've mentioned that a few times in our last segment. But when I was in the bakery to invite you to come be on the show, I saw a bunch of kids with backpacks, clearly on their way to school, but they were all holding cards that it looked like they were basically redeeming for donuts. If you have any idea, where did those cards come from?
Well, I know, right? Can I laminate it?
Yeah. Gretchen's out there just getting the kids. She's $20.
Hello. I think the cards started. So we were giving the crossing guards hot chocolate during the winter.
That is so charming.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that at a specific age, whether it's 4th, 5th grade, I don't know what that age group is, but they were they were hustling their belt from student to student. And so the crossing guard would give their belt to a student, and the student would come in and get a free hot
That's
chocolate.
awesome.
I know, right?
So genius.
So like we were.
What is the school that's right there next to the store?
Harvard Elementary. Yeah.
With a beautiful structure.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the card got started. I can't be 100% as to who is still redeeming, like where those are getting drawn from. It could be, it obviously is somebody from the elementary.
But it's you give these cards to the school to give out as a reward to.
Actually we're fortunate enough that somebody will come in and get like $20 worth of them. You know what I mean? And I don't know how the monetary side of it works.
Yeah.
I hope, you know, in a great world that they're free, but I'm not certain that I could say that.
Gretchen's
out loud.
printing them off at her house every night.
What's the logo look like?
There's only 3 colors.
Yeah. Is there a barcode there? Tell me a little bit the numerical system that you've got.
QR code generator.
But the community portion of it, you know, again, we left the break. I was mentioning that our friends group celebrates all of our friends' birthdays with the Wixey's cake. We usually get a cake and then decorate it ourselves.
Yes.
Which is when your product takes a real left turn into not
No,
its
I
usual
appreciate it.
aesthetic.
You know, I mean,
But we love
come
it.
back next year.
And we don't do it without it.
Right.
So part of that, you said family over the counter. Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you? And work is work, like I said, but this has got to be wind in your sails to a large degree and keeps this going. 96 years doesn't happen by accident.
No, it does not. And we're fortunate to have the opportunity. Maybe it's, I would say it's like just, I mean, maybe, I don't know. It could just be good parenting. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to just say that it's nothing more than that, but it also is probably the reality of it is that all of my family has participated at some point within the idea that they only exist based on the community.
Yeah.
So I think it's that intention. Like my father would tell my siblings, you know, you're no better than anyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or nobody's better than you, but you're no better than anybody else. And,
Yeah.
and you know, so we're all vulnerable. And
Yeah.
the ebbs and flows of everything that we experience is based upon the community and how we participate within the community, how we look after the community, what our responsibilities are to that community. And I think that being said is we rely on our neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not something we can run a business with just our neighborhood, you know, there's
Right.
not, but I mean, I'm seeing just
Generations of people to come to see you too, right?
We're blessed beyond control.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen by accident, Brian. If you guys started cutting corners, or somebody was managing the business from their Barca Lounger generations ago, then people feel that there's an inherent difference between having experience on the other end of the counter, meaning your side of it. The people that care, people that know people's names, people that hand out hot chocolate. The fact that the crossing guards are duping you, that's a crime.
I know,
but you
right?
don't care, man. You're like,
Right.
yeah. And again, you have a family to feed, and you have your own lights to turn on and a payroll to make. But it is not by accident that people feel and celebrate things that are important to them with you.
Right.
Birthdays, celebrations, anniversaries. Everyone knows at our age, we're presumably the same age, although you're aging better than I am. Which makes me hate you, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying.
I'll take it. I'll take it today.
I don't mind saying it real time.
We heard it.
You're not hearing us say anything about it.
That's right.
Stop it, right? No, where's the defense?
So why is little Debbie a liar, and why do you hate her so much? No, I'm just kidding.
It's not so much that, but I think she probably started the same time we did.
Yeah, that's
she
right.
did.
Do you know what I mean?
She
This
did.
is my
Yeah.
that's the humble side of life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the avenue, that's the road less traveled. You know, and we've all seen it so often. I mean, Watts says it. You know, seeing a baby take its first step and fall, we see it as growth.
Yeah.
But you know, an adult falling and making a mistake, we see it as failure. When we're completely backwards in that.
Right. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
sure.
So if we all just, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I mean, you know, like I'm vulnerable in the idea that if I don't have my community, I could stumble.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Do you know?
Right.
You could be Kevin.
I mean, part of the pressure of fourth generation, right, is like
Seriously.
the three
Right.
generations before me did this, and the reality is on any given day, and I think the three generations before you would say this, that on any day the community decides to stop coming and the business stops.
I don't know if I can't say this out loud, but we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah.
I think my father is so proud of us, but he has a great level of pride within himself that he didn't falter, and he kept his eye on the prize. You know what I mean?
Was there ever any thoughts of expanding beyond? I mean, you say Little Debbie started around the same time you guys did, right? I mean, is there ever any thought of expanding beyond one location?
She got in the heroin business. I don't know if you're familiar with
right?
Yeah. So.
I mean, there's something inside those.
Yeah.
It's craveable.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though. What the ebbs and flows you already mentioned?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
I mean, any thoughts of expanding beyond a location or food truck or?
Oh my gosh, right? But I think that's the whole conversation is food trucks and brick and mortar. I mean, food trucks are great to get in a front door, and then it's just it's that evolution of how you and let's say Broadway doesn't have enough hoods, and downtown is struggling a little bit with the idea that you can run a pop-up restaurant in there at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we struggle a little bit that way. In order for us to do another location, and we've tried it. My great-grandfather had 3 locations. I don't know how expensive it would be to A, and then B is we're fortunate that we have our building. And in new construction, do you have the ventilation you need for it? And then the state's pretty kind of rigid on how you run things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that how
the math
efficient
works.
it would
Sure,
be.
I get it.
But more importantly, I think it's kind of just nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just nice and small, and my lawyer will look at me and like, this is a golden egg.
Right. Right.
He's looking at me. Take care of it, Brian. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the move from the original location that landed you in South Toledo? When did that happen?
It's an adorable thing. I was just having a conversation with my father about this last week, and we were talking, and my father's dead set on the zoo and the trail and the downtown and that traffic flow, that pattern of traffic. My great-grandfather started on Western Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, he passed away. My grandfather reopened just down the street. There was a florist shop down on Glendale by where we're at now, and my grandfather reopened there and then moved to 2017. And I don't know, what. Well, the conversation was such with my father that, if things changed, would we move? Could we move? Where would we go? What would your thoughts? We're not moving.
Yep.
That's not the point. But it's just that how we get so stuck in the idea that we're, kind of got blinders on a racehorse. Sometimes you want to see what's out there. To have a conversation, be intelligent about what it is we're doing with ourselves and making choices that will last forever. And so with him, he's like, this is it. This is where it is. And he's smart. He's right. I mean, he's obvious. He's there.
We've got Kevin's dad actually in studio today, but I do love the fact that you and your dad are close. I'm close to my dad.
Yeah.
Family businesses, as we talked about earlier, are challenging for a myriad of reasons. At the risk of putting you on the spot, Brian, can you talk a little bit about you and your dad's relationship? You just referenced a conversation you had just this past week. How often do you talk to him? What is he in the car right now in the parking lot?
Seriously, I got the air on. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. You cracked the windows for him.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that relationship, if you don't mind the prying question.
And does he come into the shop anymore?
He's in 5 days. He's 6 days a week. Who are we kidding?
Yeah.
He comes in, and I would probably have to remanage a lot of staff to cover his footprint of the work that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And if we're not stepping and fetching to make his life, he's 80. He's going to be 85 this month.
Okay.
So we talk about relationships.
Where are you going to get the cake for his party?
Seriously, right? I mean, he's the best.
Yeah.
But he's going to be 85 this season, this month, and our birthdays are 2 days apart. So I am not at all looking forward to celebrating my birthday alone, but I've always shared it with him. You know what I mean? So it's not like I've ever had my own birthday party.
Right.
Maybe when I was 1 and my mom took a candle off the opera on the table and put it in the cake like Barney Rubble. But with that being said, I think our relationship, it's just really healthy. I mean, there's been times, and this is fun if I have the time to tell. I mean, there's times that aprons are getting ripped off their waist and thrown on the floor, and when we're younger, obviously, and I'm out of here, and then he's like, I'm not out of here, you're out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm taking my marbles and I'm running.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen every day.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
he's so tolerant of me. I don't know where he gets it. I don't know, maybe he sees himself in me at times. And
he loves you.
Yeah, and it's got to be more than that.
But certainly he's got to be proud of what you and your sister are doing with the business and keeping the name. I mean, again, this is, again, we'll come back to kind of the comment Gretchen made. Like, I didn't realize there was a Wixey that worked at Wixey's, but the reality is,
what a dope.
That's an insane comment. But this is such a beloved name.
Yeah, thank you.
And that happens because of the work that you guys are putting in every day.
Yeah, I know my siblings and I tried to drag the name through the mud quite a few times.
Sure.
But,
yeah, that's what time is for.
I mean, you're right. Moments are forever.
Yeah. Do you take any responsibility for childhood obesity in our region?
It's funny you should say that.
No,
right? I was like, I'm looking for a tagline. Please call 419.
It's like the gambling disclaimer.
Yeah. If you're eating too many donuts.
If you're experiencing being out of breath and getting out of your bunk bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Can people get Wixey donuts anywhere other than at the bakery?
I had a customer come in the other day that said, "Hey, I heard you're opening in Rossford." I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Well, cool."
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm kind of like,
Wixey spelled with 2 X's.
I don't know, right? I said, I guess we're the original. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
But there's a coffee shop I think that's opening up in Rossford. That will be.
Carry your stuff.
Yeah. The thing for us is delivery.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't have this. Who do you ask to do that, and who do you ask to do your work? I mean, obviously, you guys all know that you have to be responsible.
And
for
the
what
Wixey's
you're doing.
name is literally going on every plate, in every box.
Right.
Your reputation, once you put it in someone else's hands, right? You certainly don't come off as a control freak to me, but there's still a mantle to carry, right? So once you get out of that control, even DoorDash, right? That's someone else is sliding around in their back seat.
Right.
They don't care as much about it as you do. That's not a criticism of them. But it's not literally built into their DNA like you.
No, but I think it's a conversation when you do experience a new hire, if you will. So you've got the potential to do A or B, and B is a little more time and is a little bit better and a little more detailed. Let's go with B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to serve 72 people, or the weddings for 350. It's not necessarily the person. I might get in trouble for this, but the person that's ordering the cake and picking it up, I'm not necessarily decorating for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'm decorating for their guests.
That's right.
So it goes hand in hand with who does the artist make art for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a frequency that it brings in and handles, but it's the person that enjoys it that really gets to enjoy the art.
I've got, in reminder of the FCC regulations that we're under here, but what is the wildest thing that you had to make a cake for or write on it that you can say with the same system that carries, Big Bird? Or was someplace that was shipped? Where's the farthest Wixey's gone?
What's when the law can't touch you anymore? Is it
Statute of limitations.
Thank you so much. Let's lean on that.
Yeah.
The question was such as, what was one of your first memories of a cake? And I'm like, you're right. So it makes sense. And I'm like, well, my father made me a Cookie Monster cake, and he just took a cupcake, inverted it on the top of the cake, put some blue icing on it, crumbled a cookie from out in the case, and called it a day. And I think I might have it. If that doesn't go against legal, but still have a picture of it.
Yeah. I love
You didn't have the licensing for that.
No.
If the family's getting together on a Sunday for a party, you grab something out of the case. Is someone in the family cooking? What's a family meal look like?
Fortunately, Denise my sister is extremely experimental. So when it comes to birthdays, I mean, we do have cake, but she'll like an ice cream bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is always pastries.
And you're around so much sweets all the time. What's your favorite salty snack?
Yeah. God, it was stupid to say pistachios, but I mean, you know what I mean? It's just really like I love potato chips, but I mean, you kind of, I don't know what I can trust anymore.
Pistachios are a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, God, that'd be great.
Is that product?
Yeah.
It's
Going through the straits of Iran.
Yeah, that's right. All good. All
It
right.
used to be.
It's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I'm going to ask you 4 rapid-fire questions.
Oh, God.
Gretchen is
Don't
going to
worry
ask
about
you
it. We'll
to
hold your hand.
describe Toledo in exactly 1 word. And then you and Matt are going to work together to list off the 9 best things in Toledo.
If I knew I had a partner, it would have been a lot easier, and I wouldn't have been sweating for the last 20 minutes.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. What's one food that you never understood why everyone liked?
Great question.
That is a good question. Is this rapid fire?
Yeah,
Is this,
rapid fire.
I love food. Really?
Pass.
You guys have one?
Yep. Nope. That's right.
Olives for me.
What?
Yeah, I don't understand why people like them.
Brian?
My wife is obsessed with macarons, and I like them, but I don't get the same joy that she gets from them.
Yeah.
So I don't eat them.
Try eating one cold.
The former prime minister.
Are they better? Okay. All right. What animal best represents your personality?
And 1996, I would say a lion.
Okay, I like it.
What's a movie that you love?
Oh, gosh. Field of Dreams.
Yes, sir.
All right, and what's the best way to spend a weekend?
I would say on Lake Erie.
With a donut, obviously.
Please.
Can you describe the city of Toledo or the region in 1 word? Is that what it's supposed to say?
I would say trust.
Great. I'm gonna take trust at the top of our 9-word list too. All right.
9 best things.
That's right. 9 best things.
Favorite places, best things in Toledo.
I'm on this?
Let's do this. We're doing it together. So you already said the zoo.
Yeah.
Right?
I did.
What's next?
The museum.
Museum. Love it.
University of Toledo.
So UT.
Metro Parks.
Metro Parks. We'll give you 2 for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, 3. We got 3 left.
3 left. I would say the towpath, which is probably Metro Parks.
Nope, we'll take as much Metro Parks information as you can provide.
Shocking.
Yeah. Love the towpath.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, seriously. Did they pave it?
Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
Yep. Got 2 more, bro.
2 more. 2 more.
I know you're in the art music scene too, right? I think we share a buddy, Mark Folk.
MDF, what's up?
Yeah, bro, there you go. Mark Folk, we'll put him on the list.
Yeah,
all right, you got 1 left.
What about maybe Wixey?
How about retention?
There you go.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. Brian Wixey,
So
thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So much for joining us.
It was a lot.
If people want more information on Wixey, they want to find you, let's give them the address and if you got a website.
It's 2017 Glendale Avenue, Toledo, Ohio, 14. Wixey Bakery and Cake Shop.
When's it open?
If the lights are on, come on by.
My man.
Nice.
Well said.
Awesome,
right.
Brian. Thank you so much. When we come back, Anna O'Marley is going to join us here on the 419. We'll be right back. Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at WitroAdvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And Tarda, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarda.com. Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. We're joined now by the Director of Curatorial Affairs at the Toledo Museum of Art, Anna Marley. Anna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
You must have never seen the show.
I had to, I'm running in my head during the break over and over and over, curatorial. Yep, I'm not even smart enough to know.
You didn't even get it twice.
No, what does that mean?
You know, that is probably the #1 question people ask me in grocery store lines.
Mm-hmm.
What is a curator? What do you do? So a curator, it comes...
You say, honey, I'll tell you when we get home.
A curator comes from the Latin root of curare, to care for. So, you know, it used to be a curate took care of a church, a curator takes care of a collection. So we have one of the best collections in the world at the Toledo Museum of Art, and it is my job as Director of Curatorial Affairs to take care of the curators who in turn share and interpret and bring new art to Toledo to share with our community.
And curators have, forgive me, like specialized knowledge in particular areas. So it'd be the curator of ancient art, the curator of, you know, French Impressionism or whatever.
Exactly, exactly. So I am trained as a specialist in 18th and 19th century American and British art.
You know, I knew we had a lot in common, but I did not know that this list just keeps growing.
Do we have that in common? You love 18th and 19th century British and American art?
Yeah, but I don't specialize in one of the two things you just said.
Hey, Matt, if you had to guess what years make up the 18th and 19th century?
I'll tell you what's offensive about that. I don't need to guess. Please please fill me out.
So that's my area of specialization, which I worked in Philadelphia for 15 years before I moved here to Toledo. I moved here just over a year and a half ago.
That's so exciting.
For the Toledo Museum of Art.
Yeah, so I'm curious about this because you said in your first answer that we have the best collection. How do you know that? Right? I mean, is that an emotional thing, or is there actually
we think it, but
oh no, it's not emotional. It's completely factual. Our museum here in the city of Toledo is categorically one of the best collections in the United States, and everybody in Toledo should be really proud of it. It's assembled over the past 125 years. We're celebrating our birthday this summer, along with the birthday of the United States, 250, 125. It's going to be really exciting. But American museums that were collecting in the early 20th century through the mid 20th century and had the funds that Toledo has through the generosity of the Libby family were able to secure phenomenal collections. So the collection here is very well developed. It's got spectacular masterpieces from areas around the world. And that's why we are able to do the kind of shows we do, like the show I'm here to talk about today, Cursed, because, you know, we have assembled all of these wonderful objects from the ancient world, from museums around the world because of Toledo's great reputation.
We have objects in this Cursed exhibit from the Met, from the Louvre, and other. Tell me what's the other third major place?
Another major place is the Getty in California, you know, one of the best museums in the world. And the curator of the show, Jeff Spear, is the retired head of antiquities from the Getty. So,
amazing.
I do want to talk about
small
Cursed.
community, but like here in Toledo, but world-class collection.
I do want to talk about the collection, obviously, but having you be in Toledo is in itself a win for our region. And I mean that sincerely. We talk a lot about brain drain and things of that variety. But can you talk a little bit about your path to Toledo?
Sure.
There cannot be very many of you in the United States, period, right? This job description is a unique one, and there's only so many slots to do what it is you do. So how did you get from little Anna to this show today, which is probably the highlight of your career, your words. But can you talk a little bit about that path?
Sure. So I grew up in Montreal, Canada.
Okay.
And then I went to college in New York in the Hudson Valley. And since then, I've lived all over the United States. I've lived in Australia, spent a lot of time in Europe, and then came back to do my PhD in the United States in Delaware. And I grew up as a curator at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts in Philadelphia, which is the oldest art museum and art school in the U.S. And I was there for 15 years. I thought I was going to be there for 5, but you know, guess what? Met my husband, had a baby. We stuck around Philadelphia for quite a time, and I was looking for the next opportunity. And back in 2024, I got invited to lecture about one of my previous exhibitions. It was called The Artist's Garden, American Impressionism and the Garden Movement. I was invited to Toledo to give a lecture. And I had always heard that the Toledo Museum of Art was an amazing museum. And I had actually borrowed a painting from the Toledo Museum, a William Merritt Chase painting of a garden scene. Beautiful, you probably know what it is.
I do.
stunning for that show.
Why would you assume that Kevin and I didn't?
Because she has books from the Toledo Museum of Art.
Docent training at
So-
the Toledo
Oh,
Museum
so
of
she
Art.
knows the painting,
I mean,
right?
is
The
that
fact that she doesn't care enough about her books that she would bring them in here, that
'cause I've
Matt and
already
I
read 'em.
kept ours at home so that we could continue to read
So
them.
you could continue to study up.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
you know.
throwing these things away.
Yeah.
I use them every day.
Yeah.
That was a correct assumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Please keep going. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so I knew all about the Toledo Museum from borrowing that spectacular painting. And so I came and I was just blown away by the museum. I had no idea. I've traveled all over the Midwest lecturing about American art in my previous, position. So I thought it was going to be kind of like a nice, small Midwestern city museum. I didn't realize that when I came here, this is like I would say it's like a smaller version of the National Gallery of Art.
I agree.
The architecture is stunning.
Yes.
The collection is stunning.
Yes.
So I came and I walked up those steps, and into Libby Court, and I was like, wow,
Blown away.
this space is the space is really special. The collection is special, and so
The only downside really is Adam Levine.
well, it's funny that you mention Dr. Levine.
Yes.
Because after my lecture, he hosted a little dinner for me. And he sat me down and we had a glass of champagne. And he said, so tell me about your career ambitions, Anna.
Yeah.
And,
That's how he gets you.
A glass of champagne will do it every
never asked you
time.
that question.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, cleaning up after your guys' dinner was one of the highlights of my one of the highlights of my life.
Anna, talk to us about
Yes,
Curse.
please.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry for, but
what
we are
is-
lucky to have you. Honestly, that's just
Wow,
sincere.
we're so happy you're here and welcome. The name of the exhibit is Cursed, the Power of Magic in the Ancient World. It's on display right now at the Glass Pavilion. Tell us all about it.
So it is a stunning exhibition and it's very spooky and fun.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone. My son, who is 12 years old, was so excited that Cursed was opening.
Yeah, cool.
Because it's really a wonderful way to learn about the broader history of the Mediterranean world. So it's about Greece and Rome, Mesopotamia, and Egypt. And it's about magic, but really it's about people. Because magic comes about because people are trying to deal with often kind of traumatic things in their lives.
Or unexplainable.
Unexplainable
Right.
things. They're trying to give some sense of order and control to their lives. And so what's really compelling about these objects in the show, there's about 75 objects, and many of them are very small and tiny, things you could hold in your hand or wear on your body to protect you. That they ran the gamut from about 2000 BCE to about 200 CE, so a span of over 2,000 years of art,
Unbelievable.
starting in ancient Egypt and going up to the Roman world. So when you start with ancient Egypt, and then you pass through a dark doorway and see some demons from Mesopotamia, and then you go through Greece, and then you end up in Rome. So you're really traveling around the Mediterranean world and seeing these amazing objects that help you understand how people, what people were struggling with. And one of the things that struck me about this show, which I didn't curate, but our guest curator, Dr. Jeffrey Spear from the Getty Museum curated, is how the things that people are dealing with in the ancient world are the same that we are struggling with today.
100%.
And one in particular that resonated with me was there are so many spells to protect children and mothers. So childbirth is just one of those universally challenging things. So the demon Pazuzu, who's, if you show us Pazuzu peeking out here on the cover of our family guide, Pazuzu was a demon, but he would protect against other demons who stole or damaged children.
So you wanted one demon on your side.
Yes.
And by keeping this near you, on your body, in your home, it would protect you from...
Or ward off the others.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So Pazuzu in this case is not an evil demon. I mean, he could do bad things, but he's there to protect you. There's also this amazing ivory tusk. that is in the shape of a wand. And as our family guide said, it's not like a wand you'd get, at Ollivander's to take to Hogwarts, but it's this beautiful carved tusk that has all these wonderful Egyptian animals on it.
Yes.
And that was to protect young mothers and children. And then as you go through the show, something that really struck me is the power of women. All of us take our own experiences out of these exhibitions. So for me, I was struck by how the figure of Circe, who many people might know from Odysseus, the Odyssey, who turns people into animals, these ancient witches, and up through Roman times, where we have all these tiny little amulets that had these figures that you would wear like as a ring or like a necklace to protect you and for things that you wanted.
We're talking with Anna Marley, the Director of Curatorial Arts at the Toledo Museum of Art. We got about 20 seconds left. Why does this matter, right? Like why, and not just this exhibit, but the Toledo Museum of Art, why is it important for people to go and experience art?
So experiencing art is just a great way to lower your blood pressure.
Sure.
It's a great way to connect with friends and family. And it's a great way for you to learn about the past in whatever way you want. And I always think that art history and museums are there for us to understand the past so we can make sense of our life today. And so you can come to Kirst, you can come with your family, you can learn something, but you can also have a transformative experience where you don't have to think necessarily about what's going on in your day-to-day, but maybe there will be something like protection or thinking about your family that you take from the show and go with you and helps you with what you're going through in your life today.
Beautiful.
Anna,
lovely.
Thank you so much. Kirst, the power of magic in the ancient world.
Oh, in stereo.
Yeah, where were you at on that one, Matt? Open now at Toledo Museum of Art. Get out and check it out. When we come back, we'll wrap up this Friday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419. Another exciting episode. Great people. And I didn't fool you with my guest. You got
we got it.
Only on this show would you have Wixey's Bakery and a world-renowned curator.
It does not get...
The two things need to be combined. You could have a donut in the gallery space.
That is not on behalf of the TMA.
Yeah, not allowed. If you missed any part of the show, 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects channel 30.4. Thanks to Brian Wixey and Anna Marley for joining us, and thanks to you two for being a part of this program. Of course, 24/7 online at WGTE.org/the419, or download the new and improved WGTE app. It's a great way to enjoy the 419. It's the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Retro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.